Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anastasia, and on today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to achieve this fully pleated cowl neck blouse with a balloon hand. So if you're interested in watching, sit back and watch the procedures. First thing is to draft your back pattern. Get your back measurements plus zip allowance. For mine, I'll be using just 1 inch allowance for my seam. Then you get the front fabric, fold by 2. Ensure that the full length of the front fabric is about 40 inches long, and for the width you can use about 20 inches. Then you're going to place the back on top of the front. Then you trace the sides of your back from the side to the center front, minusing your zip allowance, and you mark out that armhole point, pin it down or hold it, and you bend your fabric as you see me do, like so. From that folded point, the neckline, I measured 29 inches upwards to the upper part of my front, and then marked in 8 inches inward for the neck. That will be your neck width, 8 inches inwards. You can make it 7, 8 or 9 inches depending on how close you want this to be around your neck. And then you draw a slant line meeting the shoulder part of the back. I traced out the shoulder part of the back as well, and then after that mark 0.5 inches downward for that shoulder part and draw a line straight. Okay, this is my line. It will look like a triangular line, and you cut out your fabric as so. After cutting, you'll be making a notch. This is what your front would look like. You'll be making a notch of 4 inches each at the sides and mark it out so the printing will be equal on both sides. Remember, this is our shoulder part. This lengthy line you're seeing that is about 29 inches is for the shoulder of the front. If you don't have up to 29, you can use 20, you can use 15, but that depends on the thickness and fullness of your pleats. For my sleeve, the full length of my sleeve is 23 inches, but I'll be using 25 inches to increase the size of the sleeve, plus the wristband, which would be making it a total of 27 inches for the length of the sleeve. Whereas for the width, I used about 18 inches. That was the available fabric I had. So if you have more, you can increase it depending on how big you want the balloon hand to be. So I just doubled everything I did with the sleeve. Next is to cut the wristband of the sleeve. For the wristband, I measured my wrist and it was 8 inches with the base of my hand. I'll be adding 2 inches allowance, one on each side for sewing, which is 10 inches. We mark out 10 inches by 2.5 inches for the thickness of the sleeve. That's all for the cutting. Next is the sewing part, where you first have to pipe the neck of the back. So if you have a bias, you can make use of a bias. If you don't, you can make use of a fabric. You sew it all around and fold, cut, and pipe it. Next thing is to trim, and you'll be leaving about 0.7 inches. Please, not 1 inch, not 1 inch, not half inch, 0.5 inches, 0.7 inches, please. Then you trim off any excess on this end. Shall look trimmed. Next thing is to turn it towards the back. Bring this in and fold, then pipe. Alright, so. After that, you're going to be folding the upper part of the front, the neckline. So you fold at so and you sew it down. When you're done with that, the next thing is to sew the both shoulder of the front and the back. So remember the places we notched for the front shoulder parts. You'll be printing those notches accordingly to match the shoulder of the back. So watch how I do my printing and see how neat it comes out. It's been done. I'll be adding that to the back of my blouse, which I'll be using 5 inches by width and 7 to 9 inches by the length. Okay. Next thing is to join the both sides of the back and the front. I'll be using 1 inch because that's the allowance I added for my seams. So if you added 2 inch allowance, you'll be using 2 inch to sew in. After that, I'll be measuring around the waist to know the allowance I'll be using for the zip. So after measuring around, I discovered I'm having an extra allowance of about 3 inches, of which 2 inches is for the zip, and the extra 1 inch I had to remove it, which is reshaping the two sides. After that, you'll be adding your sleeves, which I'm pinning down, and you gently pleat your sleeves on the shoulder according to the allowance you've added. Just pleat your sleeves gently round the shoulder part. Next thing I did was to sew the band of the sleeve using 0.5 inches for my sewing seam and pleating my sleeve on the band in the way it would fit. To get an accurate pleat, you pin down the middle of the band and the middle of your sleeve together so it will be equal on both sides while we pleat them. When you're done with that, you'll be shaping your sleeves according to the measurement of your wrist. Mine is 8 inches, and the extra 1 inch allowance I added was what I used for the seams. When you're done with that, you'll be hemming the bottom parts of your blouse and adding your zipper, and this is the outcome of the blouse. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you some other day. Stay tuned for other tutorials. Bye.